This is a Ramana Maharshi clip, a talk by Ramana Maharshi with comments by Richard Clarke. This is a time to listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. I'm Richard. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 189, Part 2, continuing the dialogue between Ramana and the Frenchman, Mr. Lacombe. Lacombe, yes, it amounts to the removal of alien limitations for discovering the ever-present self. That is what Shankara says. There is no attainment or loss. Maharshi, quite so. Aside, he understands. Lacombe, how is work to be done ordinarily for an aspirant? Maharshi, without self-identification with the actor. For example, did you intend visiting this place while in Paris? Lacombe, no. Maharshi, you see how you are acting without your intention to do so. The Gita says that a man cannot remain without acting. The purpose of one's birth will be fulfilled whether you will it or not. Let the purpose fulfill itself. Lacombe, why are there so many methods mentioned? For example, Sri Ramakrishna says that bhakti is the best means for salvation. Maharshi, it is according to the standpoint of the aspirant. You have studied the Gita. Sri Krishna said, there was never a time when I and you and these kings were not, nor will they not be in the future. That which is unreal never exists, but that which is ever real never disappears. All that ever was, even now is, and will ever be. Continuing their dialogue, they talk about the removal of ideas of limitations to discover the ever-present self. The Frenchman, Mr. Lacombe, continues by stating that discovering the ever-present self involves eliminating restrictions that are not inherently a part of oneself. He doesn't say it, but this is eliminating vasanas, tendencies. Lacombe also says that realizing the self isn't about gaining something new or losing something existing. It's not acquisition or loss in the conventional sense. You don't gain anything new. It is who you already are. Maharshi acknowledges, I think Ramana was pleased by the understanding of Lacombe. Lacombe then asked how a seeker should approach work, how to approach what appears to be purposeful activity. Maharshi responds by highlighting the importance of performing actions without identifying yourself as the actor. Ramana said, at other times, I have no sankalpa. I have no intentions, no individual will. That was Ramana's approach to work. Ramana illustrates by asking whether the visit here was premeditated while in Paris. Lacombe denies intention, and Maharshi points out how actions unfold without conscious planning. He draws on the Bhagavad Gita, which says you cannot remain without acting, and that the purpose of your birth will be fulfilled whether you want it or not. Maharshi encourages letting the purpose fulfill itself. In Talk 188, Ramana extolled passivity. This is another example of the same idea. Let it unfold on its own. This conversation takes a turn when Mr. Lacombe questions the many methods mentioned in spiritual teachings, using the example of Sri Ramakrishna's assertion that bhakti, devotion, is the best means for salvation. Maharshi explains that the variety of method rises from the standpoint of the seeker, emphasizing the individual's disposition and inclination in choosing a path. Spiritual practice takes deep inner learning. You need a path that fits you and that you can stick with. Best is a path that you love. He draws a parallel with the teachings of the Gita, citing Sri Krishna's teaching that there was never a moment when the self did not exist. And this is the future reality too. This dialogue underscores the essence of self-realization, emphasizing the removal of limitations, detached action, and the many methods available for seekers, all based on the eternal nature of the self, as expressed in the Bhagavad Gita. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now